Hello all of you wonderful people, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, and as you might have seen, I've recently done 2 videos on terrible times that happened at movie premieres. The first one looking at actors and then at directors who gave out or stormed up and off the red carpet even though it was for their own projects. And so why not cap off this mini trilogy of sorts by looking at arguably the most important facet of the movie making experience, the audience themselves. After all, while we don't have a hand in making the film in a literal sense, we make the films the successes that they are today, as we're the ones ponying up the dough and sitting through some rather arduously long screen times. Now, in many cases, even the most mediocre of film premieres will promote a smattering of applause because the majority of people at least respect the work and efforts of the crew and cast. But the audiences on this list, well, they were close to rioting because of events that either unfolded on screen or outside of it. So with this in mind, grab your popcorn and soft drinks and hurl them at the screen. As I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 times audiences were pissed off at film premieres. And by the way, if you have done that to your screen, don't, because I'm not going to pay for repairs. Number 10. Darren Aronofsky and Jennifer Lawrence got booed out of Venice. Mother. Darren Aronofsky's Mother is unquestionably one of the most polarizing films of the decade, seeing as it is a project with incredible emotion and a bold shooting style, but it's also so on the nose with its message that you'll see every scene with Lawrence crying basically amounting to, "I'm Mother Earth, do you get that? This is the story of the Bible." This division of the audience was reflected perfectly during its world premiere screening at the Venice Film Festival, where Mother was met with a chorus of what Vanity Fair described as lusty boos, with reportedly just a smattering of applause, suggesting that those who hated it did so with extreme prejudice. And when interviewed about the fracas the very same day, Aronofsky said, "Mother is like a roller coaster ride, and not everyone is willing to go on a roller coaster." Number 9. 250 audience members walked out and 20 people fainted. Irreversible. The Cannes Film Festival is the most prestigious arena for filmmakers to premiere their new works, and it's notoriously confronting and rather fickle audiences can always be relied upon to meet a controversial film with a hostile reaction. Infamous rape revenge experimental thriller Irreversible, which may hold claim to hosting the most infamous premiere in the history of the event. The film features both a prolonged single-take rape sequence and a brutal depiction of murder, which led to 250 audience members walking out of its Cannes bow, while many who remained began shouting at the screen, and 20 viewers even ended up fainting. The fire brigade was dispatched to provide oxygen to afflicted viewers, with their spokesperson saying, "In the 25 years of my job, I've never seen this at the Cannes Festival. The scenes in this film are unbearable, even for us professionals." Irreversible remains hugely contentious to this day, with many praising it as a singularly nauseating head trip, while others dismiss it as a sadistic exercise in punishing the audience. Number 8. Fans protested the presence of George Osborne. Star Wars The Force Awakens. Though Star Wars The Force Awakens was largely praised by audiences and critics for successfully resurrecting the hit sci-fi franchise, its London premiere invited a chorus of boos from fans and attendees for one very specific reason. George Osborne, the UK's Chancellor of the Exchequer, made a surprise appearance at the UK premiere due to his involvement in allowing the majority of the film to be shot in England. Osborne was instrumental in relaxing the UK's generous tax relief scheme for Hollywood productions in 2014, just as The Force Awakens was due to begin shooting. As a result, Osborne received a special thanks in the movie's end credits, yet the Leicester Square crowd nevertheless showered the unpopular politician in a chorus of boos. One attendee said that Osborne received muted applause, then a few boos, and then a few more boos after people realised it was okay. Ouch. Number 7. Mass walkouts and boos as one of Cannes' worst ever films is screened. Southland Tales. Richard Kelly's Donnie Darko follow-up Southland Tales was the most hotly tipped film of the 2006 Cannes Film Festival, being unexpectedly screened at the festival in competition for the festival's main award. But Southland Tales' premiere has since become the stuff of legend for all the wrong reasons. The Guardian called it maybe one of the worst films ever presented in the competition, while Roger Ebert deemed it the most disastrous Cannes screening since Vincent Gallo's infamous The Brown Bunny. And just last year, Mr. Nice Guy himself, Dwayne Johnson, chimed in to add that to call the film disastrous is an understatement. The premiere screening was reportedly met with mass walkouts and loud boos, owing to both the film's bloated length and scarcely coherent narrative. Even another pass-through in the editing room to cut down its runtime and stitch together the plot didn't help, only moving the film from complete critical distance disdain to decidedly mixed. Number 6. Logistical and technical difficulties leave audiences furious. 127 hours. Though Danny Boyle's 127 Hours was ultimately one of the most critically acclaimed movies of 2010, being nominated for 6 Oscars including Best Picture and Best Actor, it didn't have the smoothest of coming out parties during its premiere at the Toronto International Film Festival. Though the screening was famous for causing numerous audience members to pass out during the brutal sequence in which Aaron crudely amputates his own arm with a blunt knife, those members were actually lucky they even had seats to pass out in the first place. The screening was massively oversubscribed, resulting in 1,000 prospective attendees queuing for just 500 seats. And to make matters worse, thanks to technical difficulties, the screening started an hour late, leading to a chorus of boos before the thing had even started. Thankfully, the film in every other area was a huge success. Number 5. Premiere attendees were annoyed into boredom. Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate was director Michael Cimino's follow-up to the Best Picture-winning drama The Deer Hunter, and so it's fair to say that expectations were high for another epic, one-of-a-kind cinematic experience. Now, given Cimino's esteem in the industry, United Artists effectively gave him carte blanche to get the movie made, causing the budget to balloon from $11.6 million to a stonking $44 million. It took an absolute ice age to get the film even ready, and it was over 18 months after shooting had wrapped before the project was finally premiered in New York, and it ran at an astounding 219 minutes. And when things ended, it wasn't met with cheers or boos for that matter, but instead complete silence. They were simply so drained and annoyed, they simply left without so much as a peep. During the intermission, Cimino was reportedly perturbed by the lethargic crowd, and he went and asked his publicist why nobody was drinking the champagne, only to be told, because they hate the movie, Michael. Yeesh. Number 4. Netflix controversy and technical issues made the audience revolt. OKJA. Bong Joon-ho's delightfully weird dark adventure film OKJA premiered at the 2017 Cannes Film Festival under a cloud of intense hatred. You see, around this time there was a huge discussion on whether Netflix original films should be allowed to premiere at festivals, and the rather stuck-up crowd resoundingly booed the film as soon as the Netflix logo appeared on screen. Things got worse from there, however, as the first 7 minutes of the film were presented in the incorrect aspect ratio, causing angry audience members to stomp their feet and even hiss in protest. Cannes organisers were forced to apologise for the screw-up, though neither the Netflix hand-wringing nor the technical difficulties ultimately stopped the film from scoring rave reviews from most critics. Number 3. Venice couldn't handle David Fincher's masterpiece, Fight Club. David Fincher's Fight Club might well be regarded as one of the greatest and most iconic films of the last 20 years, but its world premiere at the 1999 Venice Film Festival wasn't quite so inviting. Reflecting on the premiere recently, star Edward Norton said, "I remember Brad Pitt saying to me, 'Do you think this is going well?' In fact, it got booed. It got booed at the festival very loudly." Pitt himself added, "It gets to one of Helena's scandalous lines, the one that says, 'I hadn't been like that since grade school,' and literally the guy running the festival got up and left. Edward and I were still the only ones laughing. You could just hear 2 idiots up in the balcony cackling through the whole thing." And initial reviews were intensely polarizing per the film's violence and transgressive themes, and though Fight Club wasn't a box office success, it became a massive hit on home video and has endured as a cult hit ever since. Number 2. Lars von Trier's serial killer movie sparked over 100 walkouts, The House That Jack Built. Lars von Trier is a contentious filmmaker at the best of times, and well and truly put his foot in his mouth at the Cannes press conference for his 2011 film Melancholia, where he jokingly claimed to sympathize with Hitler and was promptly banned from the festival. Now, von Trier was eventually welcomed back in 2018 for the premiere of his new serial killer movie, The House That Jack Built, which immediately courted controversy for its numerous nauseating depictions of murder. 2018 also saw Cannes deciding to screen movies to the press after the premiere for the first time, in order to prevent the premiere's mood being sullied by critical pannings. Hilariously, this resulted in the unsuspecting premiere audience having little idea of quite what they were walking into, even for the standards of a von Trier movie. The more memorably grotesque sequences in the film include a woman having her head caved in with a broken car jack, 2 boys being shot with a sniper rifle, and a woman having both of her breasts cut off. Von Trier's clear desire to shock resulted in more than 100 people walking out of the premiere, vocally slamming the film as vile and disgusting as they left, while critics gleefully rubbed their hands together and patiently waited to see the movie for themselves the next morning. At number 1, Corey Feldman ripped off his own audience. My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys. Back in March, 80s child star Corey Feldman premiered his new documentary film My Truth, The Rape of Two Coreys, which he claimed would unearth shocking new allegations against men who sexually abused against both himself and Lost Boys co-star Corey Haim decades prior. Feldman had been teasing the allegations for literally years, and the film's premiere event took place at the Directors Guild of America's headquarters in Los Angeles, while home viewers could pay a one-off fee of $20 to stream the documentary at home. However, shortly after the film began screening, there was a supposed technical disruption, with Feldman launching into a clearly rehearsed performance where he claimed that hackers were attempting to stop the film from being shown. Though the public screening did eventually go ahead, those trying to stream it at home were locked out, and in some cases, customers paid the $20 fee several times over without being able to view the film. Those in attendance claimed that the documentary ultimately made few new claims and only spurious, non-credible ones at that, namely a big one against Charlie Sheen. When the film was made legitimately available to stream a few days later, viewers were again charged $20 for the pleasure. Oh, and Feldman didn't even bother to attend the post-screening free pizza event that he promised to backers, causing many to finally write Feldman off as a charlatan hoaxer desperately trying to cash in on his own troubled past and the hashtag #MeToo movement. Following the utter fiasco of the premiere, Feldman reportedly fled the US and, due to the present global circumstances, hasn't been able to get a flight back since. And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 times audiences were pissed off at film premieres. I hope that you enjoyed that, and please let me know what you thought about it down in the comments section below. If you want to chat to me further about all things to do with movies, TV, video games, and anything else, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ with a 0. But before I go, I just want to say one thing, and that is that we detailed the final part of our little trilogy about people, directors, actors, and audiences who were pissed off at film premieres, and I just want to break something down from that, and hopefully we can apply it to our own personal lives. And that is, if you have a big event coming up and you succeed at it, if you do really well, then congratulate yourselves. So many of us will not do that. They'll just rush ahead into the next project without even thinking to take a step back and actually reap in the rewards that they've really earned. And you know what? If you do something and it doesn't turn out the way that you actually fully intended, then don't beat yourself up about it. Because this is the thing, you did it. You managed to achieve a goal. No matter how great or small it was, you did it, and you deserve to feel good about that. Don't let anyone else belittle your achievements, because you know what? You have your life to live, and if you have your goals and you achieve them, then good for you, because I wish you nothing but love, happiness, and success, each and every one of you. Now go out there and smash it, you big ledge. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Never forget that. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.